Alright guys, last workout of this deload, and the good thing about having a deload out of the way is that you don't see one for a while. And again, this series, these videos, it's more of what I'm doing as an athlete. And there's Alberto the coach, and then there's Alberto the athlete. And I like to keep those things separate. That's why I will not be doing a video without a shirt, nipple piercings hanging out. No, because when I'm doing the tutorial video, instructional video, I want you to focus on the things that I am saying and not necessarily what I might look like. That simple. And same thing when I'm in the gym and I'm working out. That's when I kind of lose my shit for a minute. Of course, but I apply it to a sound, well thought out plan. With that said, the deload's been giving me a lot of time to think, a lot of time to just reflect on what I want to do from this point on during this second leg of this off season. And one thing that it's really drilled into my mind is the fact that I have to get back to my roots. I have to get back to that 16-year-old skinny kid that started weight training, and that's pretty much when I first got my first gym membership. I was 16. I was about to go into my junior year in high school, and my friend urged me to join the gym with him so that we can pick up all the chicks once the summer was over. And of course, it didn't quite work that way. However, one thing that I did learn, aside of the fact that chicks really don't care about how big you are, was that, man, your success in anything is your attitude just plays a major role in that. And I remember we both started with very different mindsets. I remember he kept trying to convince me that, dude, we are 16 years old. We can never be as big as these guys you see here because they are grown men. And you're just 16. You need to chill, dude. You need to stop trying to lift so heavy. Stop trying to lift so hard. And crap, about 4 or 5 months later, you know, our mindsets, well, that really reflected upon our results. And surely I was probably a little bit more blessed than my good friend Carlos, who to this day I still thank for getting me started with this or pushing me in there. I was probably a little bit more blessed from a genetic standpoint, but at the same time, I wouldn't take no for an answer. And I recall that my main goal when I was 16, because the biggest dumbbells in this gym were 82.5s, I wanted to hit those on the incline for a clean set of 8 before I turned 17. And a lot of folks thought I was out of my mind, especially in the gym where the biggest dumbbells are 82.5s. But, you know, I didn't care. I knew exactly what I wanted, and I went after it. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I didn't put limitations on myself. And sometimes I think I know too much now. And that's why I really have to separate Alberto the athlete and Alberto the reasonable coach. So that's kind of what this series is going to be about. I'm going to really do my best to just show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly as I march on forward, and I try to not be a top 5 pro, because I know I can be top 5 in any class. That's where I should be. If I don't get top 5 in any class, that's my bad. That's because I did something I shouldn't have. I want to play for keeps, and I'm going to take you guys along for this whole thing, but not until we finish this deload. Alright guys, this is how my deload started. And the thing about my deloads now is that I still get to lift heavy. The main changes that happen during my deloads is that I get rid of the heavy days as a whole, and I tend to pick more on volume than intensity. And of course, by intensity, I mean how heavy I am lifting. So I at least have that, but still workouts are really short. However, this was one of the highlights of my deload. It was a deadlift set, and it was 455, 49 with about 1 rep in the tank. And this is one lift that I'm really going to try to clean up over these next few weeks. My main issue here is that my hips go back and then forward. I want them to simply go forward. It's a waste of joules, and not only that, it just makes the lift
a little bit more high risk than it should be, and it's also stopping me from hitting the really big weights that I should be able to. So this is definitely one to work on. I just recently, I made a little wager with a friend of mine, Brian Miner, sick up and coming NGA pro, and we're having a little friendly bet to see who can get to 600 pounds first. And I think he's a little ahead of me. However, I'm known to be spurty and just come out of nowhere, and he knows that. So I'm sure he's thinking about that in the back of his mind, and I'm sure he hears the footsteps. But first, we have to clean this up and make it look more like the first and the last rep in this set. Since I usually, like I said, pick on volume, I got to do more things like this, more time to work on just mobility and all those things that sometimes we get so busy with actual training that we don't get to do as much as we like or should. And you know what? I'm guilty of that myself. One thing I did get to play around with, and this is a new addition to the gym, is the safety bar. And it was pretty much the first time, I'd say, in about almost 2 years, if not 2 years, that I've actually played around with one of these. But I felt right at home. Felt really good. It was, again, a nice way to just take a break from holding a bar myself, the way you would on a traditional squat, which doesn't irritate my shoulders, but why not give them a little break while we're deloading? And just recently, I started using hack squats again, so you will see a lot of hack squats. And this one's a little different from the hack squat at the gym I go to most of the time, but it was still fair, I guess. And again, this is just I get one heavyish set, but then I only get one back off movement, and for the most part, that is how I do my deloads. Where usually on the program I'm running, after my first set here, I would do anywhere from 4 to 6 back off sets, depending on how I have it mapped out for that day, and of course how I'm feeling, because the whole program is based on that. So it's kind of fun to still be able to lift heavy on your deloads, and so far I'm digging the more so picking on the volume component of it. However, over time we will kind of have full deloads where we'll definitely bring down the weights a tad. But here's more of my mobility work. This is an overhead squat with kettlebells, and this is hard as crap. And I think these were 20-pound kettlebells, and this is about as heavy as I can go at the moment. And you can see my left elbow wants to bend a bit, and that's the shoulder that's giving me issues. Alright guys, and this was just to kind of show you guys that I still kind of sort of have abs at this point, and leave you guys with a cliffhanger. Did he really actually get nipple piercings? That's it. We have some announcements coming up, and next time we'll have an actual workout week, and we'll get all that good footage. But stay tuned, guys. Looking forward to a prosperous and safe and jack new year.